Alright, today we're going to do a little work on designing, well, we kind of have it designed in our head pretty much. And it's very similar to Jack Austin's roof rack. System. I thought of it probably about the same time. I don't know when he did his, but I was putting ours together in my head. I'm like, oh my god, that's what they're doing too. So to see his all up there and looking good, so that definitely solidified that's how we're going to do it as well. So it's always good to watch other people, see what they're doing for ideas. So what we're going to do essentially is we have, this is all 1-inch piping. We have a foot, a 4-inch, it's called a nipple, believe it or not, but anyway. Piece of pipe, basically 4-inch, and then we get a T on top. So that'll go into this here. The first one will be an elbow at the end of the bus, so it doesn't, so it's not going to continue off the end of the bus. So the first one will be an elbow, and there'll be a pipe between here, and of course a foot on this side. You'll see it when it's all done. You'll see what I'm talking about. Two of them put together here. The other one's right there. Basically, we just measure to see if they're going to land on the ribs or not. Looks like one screw might hit the ribs, but if nothing else, they're going to be pretty much right over. So they won't be in the middle here where there's no support, which I was going to have to add some in. So at 5 feet long, the feet are going to land right about at these cross members up on the roof. So it's going to give us plenty of support. But that's two of them right there. And now hopefully you can understand what I was saying. At the end of the bus, it'll start with an elbow because it won't extend out any further than the end of the bus. And there'll be one on each side up there running the length of the bus. And at the other end, right now it's got a T because there'll be another pipe coming out of that. So that's what we got. We're going to go put these up on the roof to kind of see where they need to land. Because this particular bus has that has a raised roof ridge on either side of the center for additional support. So we have to be tall enough to clear that when we put deck boards or solar panels across this. I'll show you what I mean once we get up there and we're looking at it.
Want to do this side or the other side?
Doesn't matter. Go back that way a little bit. Alright, so you can see what I meant by these rails. Trace, you want to get a straight edge? So yeah, that's why these are so tall, because when we put the board across here, we got to clear this. But one thing I like about this bus is it has this, which gives a lot more structural support to the roof. It does have a downfall though. Water traps in here a lot easier. So you got to make sure everything is good and sealed, because if water's sitting in here, because it can't run off this way, and if you're fairly level, it takes a long time for it to go off one end. And you can see it's damp in a couple spots because of rain. And we're just using this set across here. Yeah. Because realistically, this will be further down.
This one too?
Probably. We're gonna have to, get an idea. And then, no, you gotta go back so you're too far.
I know, but if you lift this, it'd be easier for me.
Because the foot has to sit flat. Alright, after doing some measurements, this is what we've come up with. We're gonna put these just about a foot off these rails. That shortens up the span in between here for bowing, for deck boards and stuff like that. Even though there'll be no deck back here, we will have boards going across for the solar panels to bolt down to. And the boards can easily extend out beyond this to give us plenty of room for the panels to bolt down to, as well as the deck boards. Because even if you walked here, you're still going to be stepping on this. The issue is keeping these close enough that this span in between here is not too wide, so you don't get a lot of bowing with deck boards. And I got a couple ideas to solve that problem as well, but that's for a later video down the road. So that's what we come up with. We're still well below. We didn't do a roof raise at all, so this here is still below 10 feet. So we'll have no issues with height-wise and stuff like that on, you know, other than unusual circumstances.
It's cold.
So we should be good. So this is the first two. We're going to take the time to really, now that we know roughly what we're going to do, get some stuff out of the way, measure it up, draw the feet, and get these things fastened in place. Because once we have this rails up the whole length of the bus, we can go back inside and really start insulating. Because we're going to bolt down through and seal them all down to the bus. So that's what we're going to do now. As you can see, we're putting the last turns on the roof rack here. And it's about 25 feet long. Well, the roof rack support. Going all right, Trace?
Yeah.
You can see it goes all the way down to here. And through the bushes here.
I probably don't have it as tight as you can get it. My leg is probably longer because I can't tighten it anymore.
So we got it up top there, but I figured this might happen, you know, because it all depends on how tight you screw the pipe in. I mean, I got it in pretty tight, but not all of the feet are hitting on a bus rib support system. So, no big deal. We're just going to put something inside the bus up against the ceiling where those bolt through, so it has a good sturdy surface it's bolted to. All right, we're not done, not quite done yet. We still got to bolt this last one down in place. So basically you can see the rail is up here, and I used carriage bolts bolted down through the roof, and I used oh, I can't remember the name of that sticky tape stuff, but anyway, I got that down underneath and around each bolt, and it's all the way down, and this will be one side of the rail. You see the other one laying there. We're getting ready to stand that one up. I washed underneath each leg, and we slowly getting it in place. Once we get the other one on, then we can go back inside the bus and start with the ceiling. Alright, so I'm just going to show you inside here really quick what we did. So this is one of those cases of measure several times and cut once, because it did not come out the way I had planned. So sometimes we make those mistakes. So again, I'm just talking about the roof rack. My plan was, if you watch maybe in the beginning part of this video, I talk about it landing at each one of these ribs. And the first one I set in place, the sample one we bought and put together, landed on the rib, landed on a rib. So I went and had a bunch cut. The problem is these ribs vary in distance from each other. So as we went down, we found out we're starting to miss. So that's why I've included these cross members in, which we will fasten in at the ribs, and we're bolting right down through these from the roof right down through into this. So that's what we ended up having to do all the way, but it's all going to be covered up in the ceiling, so it won't matter. And again, we got one more we got to put in here and bolt down, but then this side will be done, and then we'll just get ready to work on the other side over here. All right, we are on finally the last one of the feet for the roof deck slash solar panel holding mechanism. Let me turn the camera around and show you what we got here. All right, so like I said, we're on the last one here. I just drilled all the holes, And what I'm doing is putting the butyl tape on the bus itself and around the head of each of the bolts. And then if you look here, you can see what I'm talking about. And then we're bolting them all down through. And then I think you saw earlier in the video how it's bolted inside. And then we got the rail running down both sides of the bus here. Beyond the roof hatch there will be all solar panels, be 6 solar panels, and then forward of that will be all deck out here. So that is far down the road. We just want to get these bolted in so then we can go inside the bus and work on, you know, finishing and sealing work and stuff like that. So finally, we are just about done. Alright, well, we're closing this video out here. Basically, we finally finished, jeez, keep getting text, the roof rack rails you can see here right behind us. We're both on the bus. This has been a project that I've been wanting to close out for a while because we didn't know exactly how we're going to do it, what we're going to do. We did see Jax do something similar to this, but I think he welded his. But anyway, this is going to work. We're going to have deck in the front, solar panels in the back. But we are so glad to get this finished up. Now, we're not going to put the deck or the panels on or anything like that anytime soon, but now it allows us to go into the bus and finish up in there because we wanted to bolt down through and make sure everything was good and solid. But it is what it is. We had a few difficult things to deal with. What's so funny?
You were not very pleased.
Well, you know, when we're up against weather, like it's cloudy out right now, and it's supposed to rain today. So we wanted to have this done yesterday, but it didn't happen. So we had to get up early this morning, and I debated whether I wanted to start drilling holes in the roof knowing rain was coming, but it's held off, and it is now done. Anyway, please like the video, subscribe, come back next Monday for another video. And don't forget to check out the website, lifethewildride.com. And I'll put some links in the description to some things that we might have used in the making of this video or this project. Thanks again for swinging by, and remember, life is a wild ride. Anything you want to add? Okie dokie. Bye-bye for now.